Welcome back to the Black Girl Flow podcast. Y'all know we just have so much love for you. So I hope you can feel that love and have just been embracing all of the rest that's necessary in this winter season. Yes, y'all, we are still in winter. It is still Capricorn season. The year has only begun. So I hope y'all are leaning into all things hibernation, taking care of yourselves. Even a lot of us got the sniffles. I don't got the sniffles, but I'm staying away from the people who got the sniffles. So protect yourself.
Yeah, get all of the vitamin C you can. I've been one of those people that have had the sniffles. So yes, i.e. me, that friend that's always going through it somehow with health. But yeah, just taking it slow, taking it easy. What's your pulse check looking like? We're almost in Aquarius season. Capricorn season has been treating me well. I can't even hold you. Like, I wish it could be Capricorn season year round, but
y'all,
it's almost Aquarius season.
That's the most Capricorn thing you could say. Being like, I don't know, like, it's just not giving you life. Like, shouldn't we just do this all year round? It's like, interesting. While other people in Mercury retrograde are fighting for their life.
I know. Mercury retrograde ended recently. I hope that you guys made it out alive without texting your ex.
We saw it take a couple people down.
Yeah, like it usually does.
Like, down bad. But no, I think just chugging along. It's really been such a ease into this year, which I'm really grateful for.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of starting to think, what does the rest of the year hold? And I genuinely think, and I don't know if other people can attest, there's definitely, people have the mad travel bug, but for new experiences, like not going back to the same old places, but like trying something new, getting different groups of people together. So I'm very much looking forward to having lots of those experiences this year. But otherwise, just pretty chilling.
I'm just chilling, always just chilling. I'm an Aquarius, just chilling.
New year, same me.
Can you give the people an Airbnb update, a homeowner update? Like, how has it been?
Yeah. We're almost hitting a year, actually, of Airbnb. That'll be up in March. So we'll definitely give y'all like a big update when that happens. But it's been really great, just learning a lot. I feel like it's significant because this will be the first like tax season to do the business through.
Yeah.
And y'all, when I tell you, I continue to be shocked at how if you know, you know, and if you do not know, you do not know is the name of the game. And having a business on the side and taking your hobby into kind of your business, it can be a big learning curve. And I'm always learning about like new strategies, things to expense, things to not expense, deduct, like all of that. So if you're a small business owner, Liv knows the struggle, that entrepreneurial lifestyle. Like, I have so much respect because it takes a whole nother side of the brain to make it all happen. But I've been really grateful for how the experience has gone. So looking forward to future endeavors.
And then also, I feel like we've been talking a lot about like hosting people in this space too. So like now that we've almost been roommates for about a year now.
I know. Yes, y'all.
And
the rumors are true. The rumors are true.
And it's like now we're finally like, oh, like it'd be cool to host people in this space and like have more Black women just giving us all the good vibes. So
yeah, we gotta share the goodness that we have built. But I think that's like any type of partnership of once you get your groove, you want to bring more people along with that. And I truly believe in that model, like forever. Like convince me not that if you bring everybody with you, like you go farther and you're more successful. So I think that'll be another aspect. That's actually a really good point.
Yeah. One of the things I guess I could attest to from my pulse check is just that there's been a lot of newness in my life. Like I recently got a new job. I've been meeting up with new people that I've just kind of come across and been like, yo, like we should grab coffee, and experiencing new events, which has been super like recharging. Like I don't know, just it's been filling my cup.
Outside, y'all.
I have not been outside. I've just been like, you know, when there comes a point when you have moved to a new city and you are searching for community and you're like, you might be like, let's say in a predominantly like white city, and you're like, there are no Black people. But then it's like, have you actually taken the chance to like look for where the Black people might be? Like, have you exhausted all of your resources? And I came to a point where living in Durham, I was like, well, where are like the Black creative people? Like, where are the artists and, you know, the events with art? And I was like, there aren't any. And then I was like, wait, I haven't even tried. I just went to the museum for the first time, like over the weekend. So I am experiencing a lot of newness and I'm really excited. It just feels like, you know, you just get inspired by other people and experiencing things that you've never tried. Lexi has this joke that like she's like, I just love experiencing things with you for the first time because it feels like you've never tried anything.
Cause y'all don't understand. Y'all really don't understand this girl. Sometimes it'll be like the most casual situation, and then she'll hit us with the
This was my first time trying this.
and it's something as simple as like an egg, bacon, cheese bagel. And you're
Yeah.
like, ha 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 ha. And she's like, no, for real. I've never had this before. And you're like, in your 20 something years of age, you got to be kidding. It's so fun though, because
Yeah.
you rarely get to experience something new with somebody for the first time. So it's
so
just-
many times, like every other week.
So I'm going to have to keep a running list because people don't know.
I had my first chocolate croissant the other day, but Lexi was a part of that process, and that was really nice. But yeah, like
You got to see a really cool like
film.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that actually lends itself perfectly into today's episode, because when I was in Raleigh, I went to this event space gallery called Art Space, and they were showing this short film called Shut Up and Paint. And it kind of encompassed this artist. His name is Titus Kafar, and he creates these really profound images and paintings of Black artists or Black people through the lens of like mass incarceration, you know, systemic institutionalized racism, and also kind of uncovers like the whitewashing of a lot of Black history as well. But in the film, he really just grapples with this idea of success, because he's now like this kind of like global renowned artist who has a lot of paintings in white homes. And the further he reaches on the success totem pole, he becomes further away from his people, and his people also have less access to the same privileges that he has. And we were talking about this the other day, about this idea of survivor's remorse when it comes to being successful, and not almost kind of resisting success because you still want to be with your people and somehow bring your people along the journey with you, but you're not always able to do that. And that was like a big theme throughout the film. It's called Shut Up and Paint. I would highly recommend watching it. It's free on YouTube. But yeah, I thought that it would be really cool to center this conversation around success and success in our 20s. How can we figure out ways to reframe it and also provide access to the people within our community?
And I think that is really important, especially since a lot of the conversations we've been talking about is intentional lifestyle changes to help us achieve our goals and like sustain our goals. And when we think about that, I don't think a lot of us spend time visualizing the way our life would look different if we continue and are successful and sustain these goals. And that is also a part of the growing journey of saying, wow, like there might be people who don't come along with me for that part of my life, or there might be boundaries I have to set with certain people in order to get there. And this idea of what happens when we make it, honestly, folks, sometimes that can spark up a lot of insecurity of us being like, whoa, that's so different. That's so new. There's so much uncertainty about that. Maybe I don't want that success.
Yeah.
And so we have to be really clear on what is the experience and how can we start to push ourselves for preventative measures now, so that when we get to those cruxes of uncertainty and success, that we don't just default back to what's comfortable. And I can say that personally because I don't know if anybody's into the Enneagram. It's essentially another personality assessment of the many. But I'm an Enneagram 9, which is considered or characterized as a peacemaker. So harmony is really important. And that makes so much sense in my life, y'all. Like, I love a good equilibrium.
Yeah.
Like, I don't push against the highs and lows of life, but I love having my peace. I love when things are flowing in harmony. And oftentimes I've had to work through a lot of anxiety in my life around procrastination because my default sometimes is that comfort. Like my comfort is sometimes too synonymous with peace. And it's like, no, 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 that can't necessarily be true. So the idea of being super successful in some aspects of my life is like, whoa, there's so much uncertainty and so much discomfort in that I might be too comfortable and not push myself. And it's funny because people will characterize a 9 as like a sloth, like moving very slow and like don't like to make decisions. And it's so true. So I have to often go back and ask myself, like, am I stalling this decision, or am I stalling this opportunity that would put me in a growth place because of fear of my success?
Yeah.
And really having to interrogate that. And sometimes it's true and sometimes it's not. But I have to have that kind of checkpoint for myself to make sure that the decisions I am making are still in line with all of these other goals that I've set for myself. Yeah. So I see that showing up in my life all the time.
Yeah. And I guess kind of on the opposite, I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum, being like an Enneagram 3, where
strong
that stands for like the achiever. And in my life, I set these very high standards for myself to the point where I'm always searching for a way to be productive, and I feel guilt when I'm not able to be productive. And I think what's really beautiful about our generation is that we've kind of created more conversation around rest and like what that looks like. But when you've achieved stuff, even like, let's say easily, you're like, it's almost like, oh, well, I know I can do it. I'm not going to push myself to do it even better. Or like, I'm not like, it's like this
that overestimation of your capacity, like capabilities, like, oh, I don't need to do it. I know I can be successful. It's like, you should still do it.
Yeah. It's like being consistent in the gym for a week and being like, oh, well, like, yeah,
I'm fit.
Yeah, I'm fit. Like, I could do this, but I guess I just don't want to be like too good at it. It's a weird place to be in. And then also having worked so hard and then burnt out, there is this resistance when I feel like, oh, excited about a new idea. And I'm like, I don't want to push myself so far away that I end up in the same place when I was burnt out, feeling so depleted and feeling so like just hollow. And so I struggle with wanting to be successful and going full force. And then I feel like right now I'm in a place where I'm like, okay, how can I create these wellness rituals to keep me grounded so that it doesn't feel so high or so low when I'm trying to reach for my goals?
Yeah. And I think the common thread, because even though we might be on two different sides of the spectrum of how we're interacting with those aspects of our life, it really is that like that deep unsettling anxiety and uncertainty can show up in then how you do these wellness routines, how you interact with the work that you're doing. And we have to be so conscious because we don't have the tools to erase that from our life. That's truly an aspect of the Black experience, in my opinion. Of we feel like it's antithetical to the abundance mindset, because we think that we're gonna lose something by our success, and that we're gonna have to go it alone and do all of these things. And y'all, I will be damned if I don't get to take all my favorite people with me.
Yeah. Like, what's the point?
I heard so much rhetoric and narratives where like it's lonely at the top. Like there's, you'll peak at your success and then your experience will be so different than the people around you. Like they can't all come with you, all this stuff. And I'm like, I don't know, because you see some families, some celebrities where it's like they employed the whole family. They created the production around the family, like around those people. And I'm like, I'm taking all my folks with me. But if I don't go back all these moments and check in the small decisions I'm making, that might be my larger goal. But in my subconscious fear and anxiety, I'm not even doing the things that will actually get me to that end result.
Yeah.
And that's scary.
Yeah, I think you're right. Like, it is such a particular experience that like marginalized communities, especially Black people, have to come to terms with. And I feel like as people, as creators, like we have to figure out ways within our work to still bring like access to the life that we're living and to the experiences that we're having, to the knowledge that we're, you know, that we have paid for. like we have to figure out ways within our structure, because similar to what you said last episode, where, you know, we shouldn't be trying to hit these standards or these marks that white people, white institutions have created for us. Like, we have to create our own structures to still bring our community with us.
Yeah. It's so true. And I really think that there's more examples around us too that can help us assess where our values are and maybe where we're at on that journey of interacting with our anxieties or our values of, do I feel like I lose everything in my success? Am I scared of my own success? And I think a really interesting one that directly impacts Black women was the Miel hair. And I really love this creator and entrepreneur, Morgan DeBon, who created Blavity. And I saw her go and talk about the situation. She was like, y'all, I know it hurts and it seems like there's a sellout, but like on the back end of that, like this family, that might have been their success story, right? Like and we can't take away that Black success. Like, we can ask critical questions of like, what's the commitment to giving back? And apparently they're like committing millions of dollars to give back to.
Let's rewind, because some people probably don't even know the situation. The background. Right.
If you don't know, you need to know.
Yeah.
As many of y'all know, the Miel hair brand is, you know, black women, Black owned business focused on the curly hairs, even did sponsorships with like Megan Thee Stallion, all the stuff. They particularly have one product that's always been popular, which is their rosemary hair growth oil. And a white creator, Alex Earl, like posted it saying that it was a product that she really enjoyed and was seeing results in. And cue what we know happens.
Yeah. sold out. Black people don't have access to it anymore.
It went up in price.
Marked up in price.
And that, along with a lot of other factors, led to the very recent announcement that Miel got bought out as a subsidiary to P&G, which has bought out a lot of other really notorious Black owned hair brands. And then a lot of people have a history of like changing the formula, them not being the same as beforehand. So everybody's really concerned. But apparently they are just like a part of the umbrella. They still own the like operations and stuff like that. But it opened up this conversation of like scrutiny to like, are these products for those people? Is this a sellout situation? And also just the general frustration of Black women have a fourth of an aisle in the very, very back, while most white consumers have like 4 aisles for their various hair textures. So like, y'all, come on.
Yeah.
But I do think that this is one of those examples that I'm not trying to put my own personal opinion on, but it is a way that you can start to ask yourself like, oh, what about this situation do I feel frustrated by? Do I see their perspective, not their perspective? Because for that conglomerate, that might have been their success story.
Right.
That might have given them the financial liberty to now take up on so many other endeavors that could impact Black people. Like, those are the types of situations that when you're prompted with a reaction might actually help you better understand your own experience before just ascribing kind of a general judgment on it. I'm just kind of trying to give people examples of how the ways we can interact with the world around us might actually illuminate some insights for ourselves without just having to think in my head about my future life. That can be hard sometimes to say, well, when I reach all this success, who's going to be there with me? It's like, well, you don't know all the time,
right.
But you can always default back to that value system.
Right. And I think that value piece is so important because again, in the film Shut Up and Paint, Titus, it's like you see his painting get sold for $1 million and it's like, well, wouldn't you want that? Like, isn't that every artist's dream? But then he's still just like frustrated. Yeah. And it's like, okay, well then that is your awakening as an artist to really determine like, okay, to what lengths am I going to create access to my paintings so that Black and brown people, like, we all have to look at it as within our own moral, I guess, compass and our own value system. I guess, but within my own life, one thing that I'm really trying to do within my ether of creativity is figure out ways to trust myself, because I think that's, again, it's tied back to this to this fear of success because I do it for 1 week and I'm like, I can do it. But like, have I actually done something consistently within, like a year's time, like 6 months time that I can be like, nah, like I trust myself to show up. And I think that's where I'm at in my journey. And I hope that like other people may be at or like are inching towards that is that piece of trusting yourself to be successful. Period. Point blank. Mic drop.
I really hope y'all can start to ask yourselves those same questions of what does that success look like? What are my values around that success? What do I want to ensure that when I reach that success is still there to show that consistency and sustainability? And also just maybe even starting to think about aspects of things happening in the world through that lens too, and maybe what you might discover. I'm really excited because I'm wishing that success on all the girlies.
Yeah.
All the girlies.
Every single one of y'all.
Because we gonna tell that story.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, folks, that's all we have. And we'll catch y'all next week.
Peace, love, blessings. We'll see you guys later.
Bye. All right. That wraps up our episode this week.
We'd really appreciate if y'all could rate us on Apple and Spotify, as it really helps grow our BGF tribe and support our podcast.
As always, the conversation continues on Instagram and TikTok. So connect with us there if you want to join in on all the keys.
With that said, we will see y'all next time.
Rest well, folks.